Whether or not you should sue in your injury case is not always an easy decision to make. To give you an example, let me tell you the real-life story of my past client, Michelle. Michelle was involved in a car accident when she was parked in the emergency lane and a vehicle hit her in the rear. Michelle had pulled over into the emergency lane in order to help her dog that was in her car. She was stopped for a few minutes when out of nowhere a vehicle slammed into the rear of her vehicle. As a result of the accident, Michelle suffered injuries to her back, head, left shoulder, right leg, and right hand. Michelle was transported via ambulance to the hospital from the scene of the accident. Diagnostic testing at the hospital did not reveal any fractures or dislocations. She was prescribed a pain reliever and muscle relaxant and discharged. In the days following the accident, she continued to have significant pain in her left shoulder, so she followed up at a different hospital. This time, at the hospital, diagnostic testing revealed she sustained a dislocation in her left shoulder. After she was discharged from the hospital, she followed up with an orthopedic doctor. That doctor then referred her for further treatment. The further treatment lasted a few months and ultimately consisted of physical therapy, chiropractic treatment, and dry needling. Her total medical bills for accident-related treatment totaled over $20,000. Her injuries forced her to miss 1 week of work at her job as a teacher's assistant. When Michelle finished medical treatment, my office gathered all of her medical records and medical bills. I then sent a demand to the at-fault driver's insurance company demanding that they pay out the insurance policy limits in order to initiate settlement negotiations. After negotiating back and forth for nearly 2 months, I was able to get the insurance company to make an offer of $70,000, but it was the most they were willing to offer at that time. I discussed this offer with Michelle. At this point, Michelle had a decision to make. Should she take the $70,000 or should we sue to try and get more? Here's the thing, when you sue, you often put more pressure on the insurance company, and that can lead to a better offer down the road. But suing can also take a lot of time and effort. Some cases can take years to get resolved. So, is it worth the extra squeeze? In Michelle's case, I was confident we could get a little more, but I wasn't sure it would be a lot more, maybe a few $1,000s. But would it be worth waiting months or even longer for that? In the end, after weighing the pros and cons, Michelle decided to accept the $70,000 offer. We were also able to get Michelle $10,000 in personal injury protection benefits, bringing her total recovery to $80,000. Michelle was happy with the result, and that's what matters. Sure, the insurance company may have offered a few $1,000s more at some point if we sued, but was it going to be worth the time and expense of filing a lawsuit and litigating Michelle's case just to get a little bit more? So, should you sue in your injury case? It all comes down to asking yourself, is the juice worth the squeeze? In other words, is it worth the time and effort to file a lawsuit? Sometimes, if the insurance company gives you a fair pre-litigation offer, it's not. But if they lowball you or flat out deny liability when you have good evidence, then it might be worth the battle to get what you deserve and proceed with filing a lawsuit. But just remember, lawsuits don't get resolved overnight. It could take months or even years to see any results. Yet it is definitely worth filing a lawsuit though if it makes sense to do so. I've personally seen it hundreds of times in the past in the hundreds of injury lawsuits I've handled that the juice is worth the squeeze if the insurance company is not willing to be fair prior to the filing of a lawsuit. Now that you have a better idea of when it may be a good idea to sue in your injury case, you may be thinking to yourself of ways that you can boost the value of your injury claim. And if that sounds like you, then you should definitely watch this video about to pop up right here, where I reveal several ways that you can boost the value of your injury claim. And for more helpful videos like this, you can subscribe to my channel right here. Lastly, if you've been injured in Kentucky, remember to